All right, today we got special guest Trae,
Yes,
Trae
sir.
Rojo in the building, man. What's going on,
It's an
man?
honor to be here, man.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
So, born and raised in Vegas, yeah?
I grew up in Colorado and Vegas. I've been here for like 13 years, so
Okay.
it's kind of a split between Colorado and
Yeah.
Vegas. Yeah.
So, I always kind of like to start the podcast off talking about the childhood because I always feel like people's, in their childhood that kind of develops them on why they become artists and
Yeah,
stuff.
for sure.
So, if you don't mind, go into your childhood a little bit.
I honestly I feel like the creative aspect of like my personality or my character or whatever has always kind of been there. Like when I was younger, I can remember being like 5, 6 years old, listening to music in the car with like my mom or my dad or whatever. And then like going and trying to write my own songs.
Yeah.
I have notebooks of like songs I was trying to write when I was like 5 years old.
Really?
So yeah, so it's always kind of been like it's always been there. And I remember like the first time hearing Jesus Walks by Kanye West, it was like a euphoric, ethereal experience, and that kind of like made me fall in love with music. I guess that's like where I can pinpoint where I really realized like I love music. It's probably like 5, 6, 7 years old. And then from there, music kind of spiraled into movies, visiting my dad, him taking me to the movies, because he's a movie buff. So that was part of it. And like just listening to his mixtapes with Drake and Kendrick when they were first coming up. So like I was introduced to all these things and all these artists, and they just stuck with me. And they've been a part of my personality ever since. Yeah, I just owe it to like my mom and my dad. Like my mom listening to Kanye, my dad putting me on to like Drake and early Kendrick, and it's just my parents, honestly. But yeah, that's it's always been there, but they definitely kind of put me on the path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's always important to have those kind of role models that kind of structure you into the path. I think that's so common to see with people who are in a creative field to really take a lot from their parents, right?
For sure.
Especially us coming in where music and art is so different from what their generation
Right,
is. That
right.
influence that they bring is so important.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite artist coming from your parents' generation?
Oh man, that's tough. I mean, definitely like the Drake. I would say J. Cole. J. Cole. My dad had mixtapes when I was really young that my uncle Danny used to put together with all these artists. Like before Drake was Drake, before Kendrick was Kendrick. So I was listening to all these unreleased mixtapes and stuff like that from these artists. J. Cole was up there. Kendrick was up there. They really inspired me and showed me like what it means to be not only like a rapper and a musician, but like a lyricist and like have a message and like they're really putting their heart on their sleeve. So like seeing that at an early age, kind of that was a spark, man. J. Cole, Kendrick, the classic names.
Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah.
So from what I understand is like you kind of really got into music and then you later on got into acting.
Yeah, for sure.
So what inspired you to actually start making music to begin with?
Like I said, it's always been there, but I think just I don't know. I started recording music in like my closet when I was like 11 years old. I had my mom's MacBook and a Rock Band microphone, like from the video game.
Yeah.
I figured out one day that I could plug it up and like record my voice, and ever since then, I was on like GarageBand back then. You know what I mean? So I figured out I could do it at home, and I heard myself for the first time, and I started messing around with auto-tune, and I just fell in love with it. Like, dang, I can create my own songs at home in my room. Like, so yeah. After that, it was over with.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to have that outlet as well.
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
For sure.
I mean, to be able to take your energy and put it towards something, it's like I feel like a lot of people nowadays. How old are you?
25.
25.
Yeah.
So yeah, people in our age range, bro, they don't have that kind of guidance for themselves, right? They don't have nothing to put that energy into. So they kind of just walk kind of without a purpose.
Yeah,
Having
for
that
sure.
purpose is important.
Yeah. I feel very grateful because like I said, like when I was young, I knew what it was. Like I loved music. I loved movies. I never thought like being an actor or working in the film industry was possible. So I never even like really dreamt of that being a thing. Like, of course we all wanted to be like Spider-Man or whatever.
Exactly.
But I was like, this isn't possible. But music, I can record music in my room, post it on the internet, and it might blow up. So that seemed a lot more viable than going out and being an actor or whatever. So yeah, that's what I stuck to. And a lot of people, like you said, like they feel like they're kind of lost in the world, and I'm just grateful because I've known since a kid, like I want to make stuff, I want to make music, I want to make movies. So that's kind of guided me, I guess, through my whole life. Yeah.
And do you remember what that first song felt like making?
Yeah, for sure. And I still have it. I
Yeah.
still have like some of that old music from when I was like 11. Yeah, yeah, for sure, bro.
Damn.
It's crazy. And then like you're like, dang, I made a real song.
Yeah.
I'm just like everybody. I'm like
Yeah.
Usher. I'm like Drake. I have music.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely remember that feeling of just like creating something, especially on your own,
Yeah.
which is cool. Like, oh, I didn't have anybody help me with this. Yeah.
Are you anticipating dropping any music for 2026?
Yeah, I have an album that I've been working on for the last 2 years. It's called Girls or Guns. It'll be out in a couple months. I kind of took a break from the album to work on Poser for a
Okay.
year, so I'm finally now just coming back to it. But it's been in the making for a while, and I think it's gonna be my best group of music that I've put out in my career. So yeah, keep an eye out for
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I just watched the freestyle video that you dropped on your YouTube channel like 8 months ago or something like that.
From Complex Con, it must have been a Complex. I think that was the last
so.
one I did. I
Yeah.
don't know. There's a couple.
It was the most recent one, but it wasn't like super recent.
Okay.
8 months ago, it was 7 months ago, I think it was.
Okay.
You got some cool shit.
I appreciate
You got
it.
some
Thank
cool
you.
shit
Thank you.
coming.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, where did the transition from like making music to acting come
Yeah.
into?
Okay, so this is where it gets crazy. So I've always been a movie buff, just like my dad, but I kind of took it to a whole new level. He kind
Right.
of introduced me to film and movies and stuff like that, and I kind of just like took off with it.
Right.
But he was the one who would send me like open casting calls. He'd be like, "Yo, they're casting people for this or this or this or whatever," and he sent me an open casting call for Euphoria, the second season of Euphoria. And I was like, "Cool, I'm gonna do it." This was during COVID, so it was like self-taped. You know, you just film yourself, send it in. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. That was the first time I ever auditioned for anything. And I was like, fuck it, I did it. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss.
Bro, you're allowed to say whatever you want.
But I did the audition and I got a call back. And I was like, oh, this is
Really?
crazy. They were like, we thought that was great. They sent me a script, like sides of a script that's like, this is confidential. I'm like, oh, this is real. So I made it to
Wow.
like the last 5 people to play the character that Dominic Fike plays. And if you ever watched
yeah.
Euphoria, he plays Elliot. I think that's his name in the show. And so they sent me these sides. I'm like, oh, this is getting real. And I made it down to the last few. Obviously, I didn't get the part. But I realized like, yo, this is a lot more, attainable than I thought originally. You know what I mean? I got pretty close to actually being on a big show. So like, let me just, see how far I can take it. So I started keeping my eye open for auditions, like open casting calls, little things, short films. And then I came across First Friday, the open casting call for First Friday. I did that. And I took it so serious because like this could be a big deal. And I just made sure I was taking it as serious as possible. Flash forwards, I ended up getting the lead role for that movie, and then the rest is history. After that, I was like, oh, anything's possible. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. After being on set and doing an actual movie, like a feature film, and seeing just kind of how it goes, and like I was so green and so new to everything. I'd never been on a movie set
Right.
or even been in front of a camera in that way. So I had to learn, and I'm still learning. But yeah, First Friday, it was like the first step for me to be able to do all the things that I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you like? I love acting because it's so different from music,
Mhm.
right? Because I made music for so long, I know what it's like to like build something from scratch. But I
Right.
think people don't understand or comprehend the thought that actually goes into making a movie.
Yeah.
Goes
yeah.
into acting. Like
Yeah.
you got to bring emotion out when you don't necessarily feel that. So how was that for you, being in front of a camera and acting and kind of like going into a character other than yourself? What was that like?
Honestly, it's I feel like it depends. It's easier if you're playing somebody that's kind of similar to who you are in real life,
Yeah.
and like that's how I felt like Trae was. The name of my character in
Yeah.
First Friday happened to be Trae. That was just
Yeah.
like crazy universal synchronicity. But so like it wasn't me, but I was like, okay, I know this person. I've been around this person. Like I know who this person is.
Right.
And it's not like I'm completely trying to play somebody that's a 180 from who I actually am, and I want to get to that point where I can play these like super heavy characters. I'm still learning and everything, but I feel like it's been easy for the most part, for the roles that I've gotten, just because I've been able to kind of play loose versions of myself. But I feel like I'm just preparing for that role where I can really step out of my comfort zone
Right.
and play somebody that you wouldn't expect me to play.
Yeah.
That's the goal. But when you're playing somebody that's like you're somebody that's like your homie, or you're somebody you grew
Familiar
up
with.
familiar with,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, okay, I know this person. Like
Yeah.
it's easy. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I haven't had too many issues yet. It's really just getting out of my own head, honestly. But I've been lucky. The roles I've gotten have been, super similar to, people that I've known in my
Right.
life and stuff like that. So,
Is there anything you can talk about that's going to be starring you here soon?
yeah, for sure. I have a short film on the way. I get to play a superhero. We already filmed it. It's in post production right now. It's called Ascendance: Weight of Power. That'll be premiering in a few months, and that's actually for Sundance of next year. So that's
Really?
yeah. So
Hey, Sundance is huge.
yeah, we're
bro.
hoping to get into that. That's what the film was for. That was the director. He made the film like with the
Right.
purpose of sending it to Sundance.
Yeah.
So we're all keeping our fingers crossed. And that's cool because it's a superhero film.
Right.
So yeah, and then I've been doing like just some small roles and background work for some big movies. You might see me in a cameo in the new Siegfried and Roy Apple TV show.
Okay.
And I just did a Ramin Barani movie with Paul Dano and Micah Monroe. Like I played just like a burnout
Yeah.
in like this house scene. It was cool. But I'm getting little roles like that in big productions,
Yeah.
which is cool. So
But those little roles, bro, they mean a lot. Like,
not only that, but just being on set with these heavy hitters like Ramin Barani, he directed Fahrenheit 451 with Michael B. Jordan, and
Yeah.
that's a big movie for me just because like I'm super into like sci-fi, dystopian stuff like that, like Orwellian type of future stuff. So like getting to work with him and watch him do his thing on set is a blessing because
Right.
like 10-year-old me wouldn't even believe myself if
Yeah.
I had told myself like
Yeah.
you're gonna be on set watching Paul Dano work 5 feet across from you. You know what I mean? And like it's just experience, and I'm getting to see like how these things go, how these actors prepare themselves, how these directors move on set, and the notes that they give their actors. So I'm just trying to take in all the information I
Right.
can. Even if I'm not getting screen time, I get to be on set and I'm learning, and that's the most important thing to me.
right.
Yeah.
Those small roles, they're so vital for people like you who are coming up in the acting field. Like,
Absolutely.
look at Michael B. Jordan, bro.
Absolutely.
He came from like doing really small roles, and then
Yeah.
Fruitvale
Yep.
Station with
Yep.
Ryan
Ryan Coogler. Yeah.
Ryan Coogler, bro. Like, it's those small things that just add up,
Mhm.
right? Especially
sure.
being at Sundance, bro. Like,
sure.
that's how it all started, too.
100%.
And I think that people aren't willing to take those small steps. I think they just want to jump straight to the fame,
Yeah.
straight to the
Yeah.
straight to the last
Mhm.
whatever it is that they want to be.
Right.
Right. So to see somebody taking those steps is so like, bro, it's awesome. There's
Yeah,
no way
yeah.
to put it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I was just talking to Gabe and the previous person that I had on last too, Young Cody.
He's fire. I know. Cody.
Fire,
Yeah,
bro.
he's fire.
I've had a lot of great people on the podcast. Like, I'm so blessed.
Yeah.
But I was telling people like, there's not a lot of new art. There's a bunch of people who are kind of like imitating
For sure.
the good art.
Everything is derivative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what I'm anticipating is like the new Leonardo DiCaprio's to come in.
Right.
Where, the new Michael B. Jordan's, like, there's gonna be a wave of just new movies, new music, new
For
art,
sure.
just all over the place.
sure.
You're right. And I think that's what we need is just like new great people.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I feel like there's not a lot of people that want to be
Exactly.
like they want, like you said, they want the end product, the end result. They want the fame and the status and the money
Right.
and all that. But the shit that goes into getting to that level and then maintaining it, I had to realize like I wasn't ready for all the stuff that I wanted. Like I've been doing shows since I was 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm about to be rich. Like I'm 18 years old thinking I'm about to blow up. And I realized if I would have gotten everything that I wanted at that age, I would have messed it all up. I was not mature enough. I was not ready. I didn't even understand what any of that meant. And I think that's where like a lot of people get stuck at. And me too, like I try to keep the big picture, in front of me of like, this is what I love to do. And like the plus side is I get to, inspire people and bring my friends on to projects and stuff like that. Those are like the perks of it. You know what I mean? And I feel like people don't appreciate that side of things. Like, I don't know. I'm just happy just to be able to do these things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know what I'm capable of. So I'm just trying to reach that level of that I know I can reach, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Is there a dream artist that you'd like to work with, whether that be an actor, a musician? I saw you like painting too.
Yeah.
So is there like a dream artist that you have in mind that
There's
just
so
like
many,
you
bro.
would work with?
There's so many. Man, it would be cool to work with J. Cole, like I said, Kendrick, anybody that's like inspired me as a kid.
Yeah.
There's so many. I could give you a list of 100 different people. Yeah, I would just be grateful to work with anybody that's been in positions that I want to get into, that can teach me and that I can learn from and get advice from. Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler right now, and like Jordan Peele, those type of people, those are the rooms that I want to get into, and pick their minds if possible. That'd be cool.
Well, that's what's hot right now, bro. Sinners, was such a great movie
Yeah.
that like I'm actually very happy that it won the Oscar.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Well
Um,
deserved. Well
yeah,
deserved. Yeah,
because
yeah.
I watched the the Timothy Chalamet movie,
Marty Supreme.
Marty
Yeah, yeah,
Supreme,
yeah.
and I was just like, I really hope this doesn't win. It was
Yeah.
the weirdest fucking movie
It
ever.
wasn't what I expected either.
Yeah,
but I thought it was interesting. I did think it was interesting. It was all over the place, but I was intrigued. I thought the story was interesting.
I thought it would have been a better movie. Josh Safdie is a great
Yeah,
director.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I actually really like some of the projects that the Safdie brothers have
For
put
sure,
out.
for
But
sure.
like,
Uncut Gems is
yeah,
amazing. Yeah, yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
Uncut Gems. The
Good Time. That's
Good
another
Time.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh
another
my
good one.
God,
Good Time.
that was a crazy
Yeah.
movie. But yeah, man. So where do you kind of see yourself in the next 5 years?
I have a TV show pilot that I'm starting at the end of this year. So hopefully that gets picked up. I want to do at least a season of that. That would be cool
Right.
to see how far we can take that. And then I want to jump into features. I have some lower budget scripts, feature films that I have ready to go if a production company wants to throw me a small budget.
yeah.
But I also have this crazy sci-fi dystopian consciousness thriller movie that I really, really want to do. And I think it's going to be the one, it's like my Matrix. It's the
Yeah.
one that I want to be remembered for. And that's like a $200 million budget movie right there. So like that, ideally, if I can like be behind the camera filming that within 5 years, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
But I want to do a feature. I want to work as much as possible within these next few years. So album, tour a little bit with my music and get a feature out. That's the goal.
Yeah.
And just go from there. But keep doing what I'm doing, honestly. Like, I feel like I'm on a good track. I'm on a good pace right
You're
now.
on a fast trajectory, bro.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So do you think the person 5 years ago would be proud of where you're at today?
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
bro. The things that I'm doing now weren't even like a thought when I was 20 years old. The music has always been there, and that's always been the route. But all this film stuff has happened so quick.
Right.
It was unexpected, but it feels like what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? It feels right, so I feel like I'm on the path.
Yeah, as long as it feels right, that's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people are stuck in trying to do something that's not necessarily right for them because
Right.
they really fantasize about the end results,
Yeah,
right? Those
yeah.
that dream of being the rock star,
Right.
or the actor, or whatever. And I always tell people, like, how do you feel when doing it?
Right.
I made music for 9 years, bro. I got my music in front of really large people. I had opportunities that I was like at my hands, you
Mhm.
know what I mean? And it didn't feel right.
Right.
I couldn't do something that wasn't necessarily like feeling like it aligned with me,
Mhm.
or also like take up space from somebody who's more ambitious with it than
Damn,
me.
that's
You know what I
that's
mean?
very humble. That's very humble.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real.
And I had to really like take a step back, and I was like, making music was a really toxic relationship because I did it for so long. I would have expected that some results would have came.
Right.
And being 22, at the time I was 20 when I stopped kind of really like making music, but I'm 22 now, and like a year ago I was just like, bro, like I really can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I put my last song out, I made my last music video, and then after that I was just like, I need to stop and then lean into something that I actually like doing, which is been my biggest skill is communicating, right? I'm not saying like I'm the best communicator, but like I love being able to communicate with people and share their stories. So like finding a way to lean into that, which was like this podcast,
Right.
and then street interviews as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
was like, I need to lean into this because it's what I actually enjoy
Fire.
doing.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I feel like a lot of people, they're not willing to sit there with themselves and be like, what's right with me?
Right.
What's right for me?
Mhm.
And then just kind of like actually moving in a way that's authentic to themselves. Like I absolutely have to move with 100% authenticity,
Right.
or I'm just, there's a lack of satisfaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. For me, it boils down to like one question. It's like, do you love what you're doing? Like, it's. I feel like it's all right to want the end result. Like, it's okay
Right.
to want the money and like whatever. That's cool. Like to
Yeah,
want that.
it is.
Because like that comes with the status and like security and all these other things.
Yeah.
Like we make music so we get an audience, so we can pay the bills, and like you know
Yeah.
what I mean. Like that's part of it. But also like if you don't love what you're doing, then you're not gonna love all the stuff that comes before that.
Right.
And people start doing music or they start doing whatever, and they realize, damn, like this is tough. I'm not enjoying myself, and it's just because you don't love it. If you love something, at least for me, this has been true for me at least. I love music and I love movies so much that I would do these things whether or not I was getting paid for it.
Right.
I would make music and put music out whether I have 0 people listening or 100 million people listening.
Yeah.
All the little things that it takes, like the hours I spend in my room talking to myself, reading scripts, or memorizing songs or writing lyrics, or like the stuff that sometimes doesn't necessarily feel, fun, or I might not get the glory and the stuff that the people don't see. I love that part too. I love the climb to the top of the mountain. I love being in my room working on music by myself in the middle of the night. Like those things I enjoy doing. And if you don't enjoy the road to, success, you're not gonna make it. You have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to love what you're doing. And like it's nice to want, the things that come with it, but you have to love the process, bro. And like I just love creating, like the process of creation. And the end result is it's cool to like show stuff and debut stuff, but I like just creating with people. And I feel like that is what's going to take me far because I genuinely enjoy what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And sometimes like you fall out of it, like, damn, this is kind of tough. Like, do I want to do this? And like I've had those moments too, but then I just get reassurance. Like I remember the things that, led me down this path from when I was younger. The first time I heard Kanye West, like these little things, I'm like, there's a reason why I'm doing this. And then you just have that moment like, oh, this is why I do what I do. You know what I mean? And I had that with Poser. I have that with the album, just being in the studio working. It's just like, do you love what you're doing? I think that's what the bottom line is.
Right.
Honestly.
I still love making music, bro. Like,
right.
I'll chill in my room with the cameras off, and I'll just sit here like playing the guitar, making beats. I've always been a person that like loves doing everything from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Like even with the podcast, like I built this whole thing by myself, building everything from scratch. I've always loved having my own leverage, right? So especially with music was like, I know how to play the bass, the guitar. I used to play the piano. I wasn't like amazing at it, but I knew enough to execute ideas that I wanted to get out. I knew how to make all my beats and mix and master and engineer. And I took all that same mindset of like, I need to do it myself. And I applied that like to the content and stuff, right? Like learning to not lean into being reliant on somebody or something. Like realizing that like, okay, I built a skill set, even though it's not something that I want to do. Taking that skill set and applying it other places. That's 100%. That's how I built this up. And enough about me. I kind of want to go into Poser, right? Yeah. So when did you come up with that idea?
Okay. So I think it was fresh out of COVID, like, or maybe it might have been like towards the end of COVID, like 2020. I came up with the concept just like hanging out with the homies at Breeze skating. And it's based on all my real friends and stuff like that. That was the first script that I ever wrote. And it was 30 pages originally. So I wrote it like 5 years ago. The first draft. It was 30 pages. And after doing First Friday, Josh was like, yo, you should direct something. I know you have some stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. I got this thing called Poser. It's 30 pages. And he was like, look, if you can knock it down from 30 pages to 13, I'll help you make it happen. So I was like, all right, bet. So I went in and did some revisions. I cut a bunch of stuff out, turned it from 30 to 13 pages. And then we kind of started putting things in motion. But yeah, that was the first thing I've ever written, like as far as screenplays go. But it was based on real experiences, real people, and everything came from a very authentic place. But it felt right because like I grew up skating, I felt very at home with the story. So it kind of just took off after Josh helped set everything up and got the ball rolling. Yeah.
And then you didn't. The weirdest thing is like you didn't have a really big role in it. You just sat back and directed.
Yeah. That was always like the goal, though. Yeah. I thought about playing like one of the bigger characters or whatever, and the character I ended up playing actually I wrote for one of my friends who ended up being unavailable to do the role, but he's got this kind of like surfer bro vibe, like so he was the character that I wrote for him was like a lot different than what you see in the movie. He wasn't able to do it, so I had to step in and play the character, and I played it a completely different version than
Right.
how I wrote it, because like it just I just the way I look, it just would not have come
Yeah,
off
no, no,
how I
no.
wanted it to. So I had to kind of play it a little bit different. But I wanted to just do a cameo, and the idea was for me to direct my own vision. And that was always the goal. Like I didn't even necessarily need a cameo, but everybody was like, "Oh, you gotta show face a little bit." So I was like, I might as well
Right.
put it from my acting reel. Yeah.
I think it was cool that uh, the universe kind of worked out the way it did for you to step into that role.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Because
For
without
sure.
that intimidating
For
aspect
sure.
of being in the hotel
Yeah.
room and stuff, it would have been like I feel like a completely different vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Where the kids are picking up the drugs or whatever. Was it the cash?
They were selling the drugs.
Selling
Yeah,
the
yeah,
drugs.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they're picking up the cash.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, yeah, I remember you showed your face, you did the line, and
Yeah.
your head popped up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, damn, like.
I think it worked out how it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't even gonna play that character. And it was funny. I was actually nervous. Like
Really?
and it was so because like I was directing the whole time, and then finally the day came. And I have Josh assistant directing, and like I'm getting ready, and I'm sitting with like the cast who I've been like directing this whole time, and now I'm like sitting across from them in character and like trying to get ready and stuff like that. I'm like, dang, this is kind of crazy. Like, there's a lot of pressure because
Right.
not only am I directing it and it's my
Yeah.
script, but now I'm acting in
Yeah.
it too. I'm like, I have to make sure I don't mess up. And actually, props to my boy Rico, who wrote, directed, and starred in the superhero movie that I did. Big props to him, because I watched him flying around set. He played the lead superhero, and he wrote and directed the film. So he's doing all these different roles at once, and that was a crazy thing to watch. Big props to him. So, and I only did one scene, and that felt like a lot of pressure. So. But yeah, it was cool. It was a dope experience, and we got it done. And Josh, he directed that scene. He killed it too. So.
And how did you kind of find the cast for all the roles that you put in the movie?
I knew everybody prior to shooting Poser, except for Rio, who played Jordan, the main character. Everybody else I kind of wrote in mind for the skater characters. Those are like Monty, who Benji plays Monty, and Tyler, who plays Tino. I actually skate with them. Those are my really good friends, and
Really?
I wrote the characters for them.
Yeah.
So that was cool. But the lead character, I kind of just blended in a bunch of aspects of other skaters that I grew up with, and like parts of myself, and like all these different things I put into this one teenager Vegas kid.
Yeah.
And that was Jordan's character, so I did a casting call for him. But like Gabe, and like my boy Rico, who played the SA kind of gangster dude, I knew them already, and I had them in mind. But I did a casting call, and Gabe actually came and auditioned for the role, and he did great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did auditions and stuff too, just to be safe. You know what I mean? Just to
Yeah.
make sure everybody got a shot. But I had some people in mind already that ended up playing the characters, so it worked out. But it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you did your boy Gabe dirty.
Bro, I had to, man. I had to, man. It got hectic, bro.
Yeah,
It got
no,
hectic.
it was a good it was a good event that you threw. Like, how did you pull that together?
The premiere?
Yeah, the premiere.
Yeah, I watched Josh do it, bro. Like, I really owe a lot to them and just like the First Friday team, because like they showed me what was possible as like an independent filmmaker, especially somebody like me who's so new to the scene and everything. And shout out to like the Beverly, and like everybody's shown so much love and helped me, put everything in motion. So I'm just grateful for everybody that helped make that happen. But it was cool. Everybody that popped out, you and your family, I really appreciate that, because this is just like a kid's dream, all of
Yeah.
our dreams, and like
Yeah.
we're just trying to put it out there in the world. So the
Right.
fact that there's, we can get 5 people to come watch our movie.
And, okay, so
Yeah.
just for the people who don't know, this premiere was packed. Every seat,
Yeah.
I think, was sold, right?
Yeah, we sold out 3 screenings. It was cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. And it showed me the demand is there for independent film. And that kind of gave me it lit the fire under my ass to do this TV show that I'm about to do, because I really believe that if we can self-finance this first episode, we can, put a little bit of money behind us and put it out and actually,
You'll find
keep
investors.
it going. Yeah, well, not
Yeah.
just investors, but like the people are there. You know what I
Right.
mean? And they're interested to see what these independent filmmakers do. So I think we can do this ourselves, and we can make Netflix quality films and TV shows and put them out ourselves and actually make money and take care of our families and live our lives without the help of a production company.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the goal, and I see it being possible just off of the Poser premiere.
Yeah.
So that's the goal. That's the goal. And we don't want, ideally anybody telling us what we can and can't do. And as soon as you're working with, one of those big studios, you lose creative control.
You lose the leverage.
Exactly. But right now, we can do anything we want. We just don't have the funds, but we have the proof of concept and we have the demand. So we're just waiting for the right opportunities. But I think they're coming, especially like they're trying to bring the movie studio to Vegas and everything. Like I think it's all happening how it's supposed to.
Yeah, I heard about that. What studio was it? A Warner studio?
Yeah, I think it's Warner Brothers. Yeah, and they just denied it or whatever. They didn't pass the bill a few months ago, but I think it's gonna happen eventually. They're gonna have no choice, especially how it's so expensive to shoot in California.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah, bro. I think the cool thing about Poser 2 was like you got to showcase a lot about Vegas.
Yeah.
Like from Desert Breeze, bro, which is like when I had 2 legs, I skated at Desert Breeze.
Okay,
bro.
that's
right
fire.
there on Durango.
That was your spot. Okay,
yeah,
okay,
that was the
cool,
spot, bro.
Cool.
Cause it's right there by Spring Valley. I
Yep.
used to live there on
Yep.
Flamingo. Obviously, I ditched
Yep.
class with my friends.
Yeah,
Go
it's
right there,
down the street.
Take
Yeah.
the bus up Flamingo, right
That's
down to
so funny.
Durango, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's for people who are not from Vegas. Like, obviously, they're not gonna know what we're talking about.
Right.
But like, showcasing that brought back my childhood too.
Yeah.
Right, being in high school, ditching and shit.
Right.
That was a good feeling, bro. So, I appreciate the people who are putting the art in Las Vegas because I feel like for a long time it's kind of been, in a sense, cultureless, right? Where there's so many people who want to do something, but not a lot of people acting on it. Not a lot of people can say like, "Oh, I made it, and I'm from Las Vegas." Like, I don't know one actor who's probably from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I know Panic at the Disco is from Las Vegas.
It's crazy
you know?
that there's like a handful of people, and I'll never understand this because I feel like in other places like Atlanta or LA, when somebody gets to that point, they help pull other locals up, and I don't see that happening for Vegas.
Yeah.
And I don't want to call out any names. I will say like Baby Keem because
he went to Shadow.
Well, he's a nepo baby, and I love Baby Keem. He makes good music, but his cousin is Kendrick Lamar, and like I hear him say these things like, "Oh, I put the 702 on my back," and all these things. Like that's cool. But what people don't even know he's from Vegas.
Yeah.
So like it's like clearly you're not doing enough. And like I don't want to be like sound like that person, but my goal for me is like to get to that point. And then there's so much talent in Vegas, bro. I want to put on as many people as possible. And that's kind of been my problem in the past, is because like sometimes I'll get opportunities and I'll try to help other people before I even secure a spot myself.
Yeah.
So like I've had to learn from that. But there are people, and there's a few actors too that have had some traction. But if I have to be that person that helps, bring a few eyes to Vegas and pull some people up into the spotlight, I got no problem with that.
Well, that's another thing too with the podcast that I've been like really prioritizing, bro, is like building that scene for Las Vegas. I don't want this to be a Las Vegas podcast,
right.
You know what I mean, or just a music podcast or whatever. Like, my whole goal is to showcase the people that are in Vegas, right? That's why I've had so many different people on. I've had my tattoo artist who's currently based in Las Vegas, who was in Ink Master season 13. I've had obviously you now, Gabe the producer, and a lot of other cool individuals so far. I want people to see there is something in Vegas worth paying attention to.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? There is something in Vegas worth paying attention to, and they might not see it now, but eventually it'll be undeniable that they'll have to catch on.
I love that you say that. Undeniable. I have that written on my whiteboard at home. Because, like, bro, that's, like, the mentality you got to have, bro. Because, like, like you said, you've been doing music for a long time, too, so you know how it goes. Like, it can feel stagnant at times. Like, what am I doing? What's the point? But, like, for this film stuff, bro, if we can get to a point where we're making, like I said, those Netflix level films for a fraction of the budget that they're spending, that's undeniable. Like, how would you not invest in these kids making these movies with 15% of the budget that you're making these big budget stuff with? You got to be undeniable at the point where, like, okay, we have to work with these guys, otherwise we would be missing out on an opportunity. That's the goal. Make sure that they're like, damn, we can't miss this opportunity with these people.
And then being able to do that, you build your leverage. I mean,
exactly.
You be able to, maintain that creative control.
Exactly.
Another thing too is like I just painted this over the weekend. It says
fire.
Dreams don't die, people do.
That's fire.
Right, because I feel like people grow old, right, and they live with the regret of not following their dreams, and then they die.
Yeah.
but they always wish that they did something.
Right.
That's the biggest thing is too, is like in my life personally, it's like I never want to be that person where I'm like, I wish I did that.
Yep.
I should have done this.
Yep.
I could have been that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I always knew what I was destined to do, and like I've been determined to be the person inside my head
100%.
every single day.
100%.
So like I fell in love with this saying too. Like it's just I had to put it together.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. So what techniques do you do personally to step into a character that you're kind of working on? Do you do anything, method acting, stuff like that? Because I feel like a lot of people do.
Yeah, I it depends on the character. I wouldn't say like I'm a method actor, but like one thing that I noticed that's helped is I don't even it's little things like and I've taken a lot of these things from just like other actors, like
Right.
like other people that I look up to.
Yeah.
But even just like staring in the mirror and repeating the name of your character, like I am blah blah blah, like I am blah blah, and then like what does that mean, or like putting the things that in your pocket that your character would have in their pockets, like stuff to just pull you closer to actually being as symbiotic with that character as possible. And like little things, like there's acting techniques. Like I said, I've learned this just from watching videos or doing research or whatever. But like, where was I before this scene? Where was my character before this scene? Or where was my character? What was my character doing before the script started? Before page 1 of the script, what was my character doing? Like all these things, like I truly believe that the deeper you go into it, the better the product comes out. Like this more serious you take it, and the deeper the dive, and the details and the intricacies of a character, and the more serious you take it, that's when you find those pockets of greatness. And I'm still learning and I'm still digging, but I really do believe like there's no world where you get a script and you just have it like that. You know what I mean? It's research. It truly is research, and it's work, and it's oh man, it's meditation and being introspective, because like you're not just trying to find the character, but you kind of have to look into yourself too and see if that person is within you already. That's another thing too. It's just a lot, bro. Just diving deep into yourself. I really feel like it's like a meditative thing where you're kind of forced to face your own consciousness and capabilities. Because like I really do believe like anytime I go into it, it's like I know I can do this, but then there's that voice like, can I do this? And it's just like we're gonna figure it out and just do as much as possible to be prepared. Essentially, just preparation. That's what Ethan Hawke says. I love Ethan Hawke. He says preparation, preparation, preparation. Let go. And I think that's really good advice for approaching a character. Yeah. But I'm still so new to all this, bro. So I'm still like, for music, I have a routine. I have everything. Like when I go in the studio, I know exactly what I'm doing. Like boom, boom, boom. I have a system for everything. But like with this acting, filmmaking stuff, I'm still figuring it out as I go, and just little things. Now I look up to Michael B. Jordan so heavy after. I mean, I've always loved Mike, but after watching like his interviews about Sinners and how he approached playing twins, like wearing 2 different size shoes. One pair was too small and one pair was too big for the bigger brother and the smaller brother. Like little things like that, that makes the biggest difference. You know what I mean? It's genius. Like he's a genius for some of the stuff that he did to prepare for those roles. Yeah. So I just take notes. I take notes and I learn from people that I look up to. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a craft, bro. It's absolutely like it's great watching the movies, you know, but people won't understand like exactly what goes into
it. They don't. And I thought I did, because like I was one of those kids that watched the behind the scenes videos and the commentary and the interviews. I still am. I still watch those things, and you still don't realize until you're on set, like, wow, like it's the collective creation of this amazing piece of art. And there's, you know, sometimes hundreds of people who all put their own pieces in to make this one final product, and that to me is amazing. In my opinion, film and movies are the greatest art form on planet Earth. And I love music. I love music, but music is a part of film. So in my opinion, like I said,
you can't have a good film without a good soundtrack.
Exactly, bro. I truly believe movies are the greatest art medium in the world. There's nothing that can beat that. Yeah, that's why like people will be like, "Oh yeah, I read this novel," and I could never get behind. Like I like reading like philosophical stuff like
Yeah.
that, but like I could never like sit down and read Hunger Games. Not because Hunger Games isn't amazing, but because
Right.
I know I can go watch the movie
Watch
and
the-
like that to me, like watch like seeing this experience, feeling this experience, and like books are cool, but to hear the music and see the characters and like it's so visual and it's like
And I think the cool thing too is like what I do is I watch the movie and then read the book, and it helps me visualize exactly what I'm reading.
right,
A
right.
lot-
That makes
so
a lot
much
of sense.
easier.
That makes a lot of sense
You know what I
actually, because then
mean?
you're just like, okay, I can actually picture Katniss or whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or
that's
the
fire.
biggest thing was I read the books about the wall. I forgot. You know, they're in the big wall. They're trying to escape. I forgot what it was,
I'm
but
not sure.
you know, but watching those movies just helped me visualize every single character that they're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Every single scene that they're in. Like, and I love reading, bro.
Right.
Like reading has been such a therapeutic type of thing in my life, but you're absolutely right, bro.
Yeah.
There's times where I've put a book down just because I was more satisfied with the movie.
Well, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like reading and like books and literature and writing is the original form of storytelling. Those were movies before movies. So I'm not. It's not like I don't know that that's where
Right.
these things come from. But I just feel like now in the age that we live and we have access to this medium, it's like I could never, I could
Bro,
never go
but-
back. But when you hear like all like this, like all these movies are based on novels and books.
Right.
Like my favorite films are literally based on books written by people,
Yeah.
60, 70 years ago. I really like my favorite movie is The Matrix, and the whole concept of The Matrix is derived from a book called Simulation and Simulacra, and that's not even like a novel. It's like a fucking philosophical deep dive on like the concept of like copying a copy basically, and like simulation theory and all these things. And like so like I feel like all these concepts, they come from people that were way older than us, way smarter than us, and they put them into books first, storytelling. Even before books, it was just sitting around a campfire telling stories. But like the art of storytelling is the vein of movies, I feel like. And that's what I love. I love the storytelling aspect of it. I just can't, my ADHD, I sit down and try to flip through a book and my mind is moving a million miles a minute.
Well, even like Fahrenheit, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, I listen to that. See, I listen to that, but only because I knew what it was about. So like I'll listen to certain books if I know like, oh, this is what it's about, or like if I know I'm gonna get insight from
Right.
it. But I have a hard time diving into like novels, like Harry Potter type stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I'm just gonna watch the movie. You know what I mean?
Bro, no, I totally get you on that, man.
I need to expand my horizons.
Yeah.
I need to expand.
Bro, storytelling, it's something that people are incorporating in just to everything, bro.
Yeah.
The short form content, like a good story is what keeps people engaged.
Yeah.
And I think that if you can be able to form that skill, whether it's like telling a story through the music,
Exactly.
through the movies, you can even tell a story through art too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Painting and stuff.
Absolutely.
Like that's
Art
the
in general.
biggest thing, bro, is like people want to see the stories because that's how they get attached.
Yeah.
That's how they find things relatable to themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what movies have done for me,
Right.
like sitting at home while your mom's working all the time or whatever, and you're just watching movies and you connect to a character. I feel like Spider-Man, for example, is like a big character for a lot of like young boys, like because he's the pinnacle of like being a good person and sacrificing what you want for what's more important. So like those type of things where you're growing up and you're like, dang, I feel that. Like I've always been the type of person that I'll cry. Like a movie will make me cry. It could be a funny movie and then like a super serious scene and I'll cry because I relate so much to what the character's saying or how the music is making me feel or whatever. I've always been that type of person. And I love the idea of infusing a story or a film with an allegorical concept, like information. Like I feel like a lot of movies have spiritual and esoteric information interwoven in them, and if you know what you're looking for, you can pick up on these nuances, or even just like theme. Like, what is this movie about? What is it teaching me? What is it trying to tell me? And like, there's levels. There's so many levels. You could watch a movie 100 times and learn something different every single time you watch it, and that's why I love movies, because it's a lot easier than just me trying to explain a concept to you when I can just make something to make you feel what I'm trying to explain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a lot bigger than just talking to somebody.
What type of movies that do you really like watching and look forward to watching?
I'm big into like sci-fi, like I was saying, like dystopian
Yeah.
type futures, just because of like the state of the world. Like George Orwell, or Ray Bradbury, the guy who wrote Fahrenheit 451. They wrote these things 60, 70, 80 years ago, and now all the concepts that they wrote about are starting to happen in real life. That is what's amazing to me, is these people who quote unquote saw the future and put it into their art and were warning us about these things. So
Yeah.
like anytime I'm talking to somebody about like the state of the world or like mass surveillance or whatever, like, okay, read 1984 and tell me that this isn't exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
And these people knew this was coming. Like, this is crazy to me. And how did they know? So like that's kind of my goal, is like anything that I make, I want people to watch it, and I want them to question reality and question their perspectives on life and themselves, and just question everything, and maybe, you know, give them some new ideas about something. That's always been the goal. But yeah, like my favorite movie is The Matrix, because of just how deep that shit is, and like simulation theory, and like there's no way to disprove what The Matrix
Right.
says isn't true.
Exactly.
And Christopher Nolan's my favorite director, because
I was just gonna say, you sound like a Christopher Nolan.
yeah, bro, I
type
love
of,
Nolan, bro.
Yeah.
Everything he does, he hires real astrophysicists and quantum physicists and scientists and all these people that are smarter than him, so he can make sure that everything that he's saying is theoretically possible,
Yeah.
Or factually based. And that's what I want to do. Anything that I'm putting into my movie, I want to make sure that the research is done and it's as accurate as possible, because I love watching those sci-fi movies, learning about a concept and being like, holy shit, that's real. Like,
Right.
if you've seen Interstellar, like time dilation is one thing I was like, that's amazing. If you've seen Interstellar, there's that scene where every second a year passes by on Earth or whatever, and they're on that planet, and there's like a click every second or whatever. That's a real concept that Einstein proved. The faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. And like Nolan knew this, and he put it in his movie, and you watch it like, oh, this is a movie, but that's a real concept, and you just learned something about astrophysics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of stuff that I love. And it's all connected: science, spirituality, mathematics, and these filmmakers, they're so smart, that they put all of them together into film for people to figure out. Because it's, like I said, it's easier than trying to sit down and explain how these things are connected. People look at you like you're crazy. So you put it into a movie, and people have that experience. And once you have that experience, it's undeniable. And like, that's what's happened to me and happened to, I'm sure, you know, a bunch of other people out there in the world. And that's what I look for. It's like a high. I'm chasing this high of like an informational download from the art that I'm observing or consuming.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I gotta say is I admire your intelligence.
I appreciate
Right?
that. Thank you.
I feel like a lot of people, especially when they're 25, younger 20s, or kind of just in their 20s in general, I think that it's hard to have, you know, serious conversations about things, about spirituality,
Yeah.
science, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear that.
It's
shit.
hard, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts. That's why I put it into my art, because, you know, it might not resonate with somebody right now, but maybe, you know, 2, 3, 4 years, they might discover this again. And that's happened to me a bunch of times, where
Yeah.
I've watched movies and I was too immature or didn't have the information to fully grasp what the movie was trying to tell me. And then I watch it 5 years later, now that I'm more mature, and I'm like, holy shit, this is what it was saying the whole time. Like, and I'm glad that like I went back and watched this, and now I have a new understanding of it. Because we're always evolving, and art evolves with us, because you'll only perceive what your maturity allows. You know what I mean? And sometimes, you know, you could look at something and then 2 years later look at it again, and it's a whole new thing. You know what I mean?
It's almost like I'm sitting in front of like a young Tupac again, rapping,
That's
acting,
funny.
like
That's
emotionally intelligent.
Man, I
like,
appreciate that, bro.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
high
It's
praise.
cool, because it's not really common, bro. Like, it's hard to, first of all, have a conversation with a stranger, right?
Yeah.
People don't know, like, this is our first time meeting.
Yeah, facts.
And then to like sit here and actually like dig deep into shit, it's like, it's not common, bro.
No, it's not.
And I find it hard to actually like relate to people our age or in our age group.
I agree.
Just because like they're
not thinking about this type of stuff.
Vegas culture is like, what nightclub are we
Yeah,
in?
yeah,
Whose house are
exactly,
we
bro.
going to?
Oh, man.
Where are the bitches at?
It's
like,
materialist
exactly,
driven.
bro.
Yeah, that's another thing. I have this conversation with people a lot. Like, just growing up in Vegas, going to high school out here, I'm sure you've had the same experience. Like, everybody's focused on these like super shallow things.
Superficial, bro.
Superficial. Like, why are we worried about like designer clothes and like stuff like that in high school? You know what I mean? So, and like you said, like the clubs every weekend. I've don't get me wrong. Like I was kind of part of that whole wave when I first got to Vegas, trying to fit in, just like every young teenager.
Yeah.
Then I got to a point. I'm like, what are we doing? Like what
Right.
what are we doing at this point? And I noticed when I started to focus on my path, those people that had different visions of what they wanted in their life, they kind of just
They fade out.
They fade out, and now I'm in circles around people that have the same mentality as me and on the same wavelength as me, and that I'm learning from, and I'm able to network and actually work with people across from me rather than me being in rooms talking about this stuff and people like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
What high school did you go to?
Went to Durango.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I know where. Yeah, I know what that is.
Yep.
I went to Clark High School. I went to Shadow Ridge High School, and I went to Arborview High School.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. I traveled a little bit. I was expelled like 3 times.
Okay. Yeah.
And the 12 years of me going to school. But
I've had some similar experiences.
Yeah. But I was so influenced by the culture out here that when I was 12 years old, bro, I stole $1,400 from my mom, and I went to the fucking Gucci store, bro.
Yeah,
in basketball shorts and a tank top.
But you know what's crazy though? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it's like programming, and I don't know where it comes from. I mean, like social media kind of perpetuates it a lot too, but just Vegas, like social media does its own thing, but Vegas has a very unique experience for a kid growing up. Like it's so weird. Like coming from Colorado, I was like seeing people in like Louis Vuitton belts. I was like, what the hell is an LV? They got Las Vegas belts. I don't even know what this is. Like, bro's wearing a $200 belt to school, and we're 14. I'm like, bro. I'm like, okay, all right. I guess this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, like, as a musician, you're like, oh, I have to keep up with this hype or whatever. And I realized, bro, this is all bullshit. Like, everybody's just trying to, like, be cool for everybody else, and nobody's being themselves. Yeah. And, like, when I realized nobody's being themselves, I'm like, oh, this is stupid. So it took me a while, but I fell into my own, around 21 years old. I was like, okay, this is the path. This is what I need to focus on. When you stop worrying about, what everybody else is doing and being cool and stuff, I feel like that's when doors start to open for you. It comes with isolation, which I'm sure it comes with being lonely and being by yourself. But no sacrifice, no victory. So
exactly. Most people nowadays, they don't want to take that chance of being alone to kind of deal with their shit. I spent so much time by myself, bro. I'm used to it, and as I've mentioned like time and time again, bro, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't party, I don't gamble.
Good for you.
I don't even drink fucking caffeine, bro.
I don't drink, but I do smoke a little weed. I gotta hit the joint every now and then.
Yeah, bro. Which is fine. Yeah. Which is fine. Like my personality couldn't let me do that.
Yeah, I feel that.
But I had to spend so much time by myself and sober too. Mm-hmm. Like that's the biggest thing is like, it's like you can't drink yourself away and then be alone and like expect that things are going to change.
Right.
Like, you have to sit that time by yourself and realize that things aren't going the way that you want in your life because you haven't made them work out.
Right.
So I had to face that reality for myself, and I was able to pull myself out of like the depths that I put in my, brought in my life. And I'm so happy for that. And it's hard in Las Vegas, especially let's say you have an addictive personality, bro.
Yep.
I was taking like pills by the handful by the time I was 14.
Yep.
Everybody knew a drug dealer. Everybody.
Right. I was gonna say that's normal. Yeah. Like in
Vegas,
it's not normal, but like
in Vegas,
it's normalized in Vegas. Like growing, like you probably had the same experience as me. 14, 15, going to school, people are popping perks and Addies in the morning.
I was that person.
Yeah, and it's like, but it wasn't like, oh, this is crazy. Like it was like, oh, this is just what people do. And then you get older and you realize, like, damn, like bro, why? Like, how did we fall into
loser
this?
mentality,
bro? And it honestly comes from like the parents too. Like our parents and that they have had the same experience living in Vegas. That kind of trickles down to the kids and so on and so forth. Yeah, and it's like a cycle. It's crazy, but I'm hoping that as time goes on, we kind of, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I want to hope that things get better, for not just as like a city, but just as like American culture. You know what I mean? Because like it's getting crazy. Bro. It's getting crazy.
Yeah, I don't think that there's like in other countries. I almost feel like it can't be normal
Right.
to be doing this stuff that happens in the United States and other countries.
I'm
There's-
sure it happens, but I feel like in America, what's unique about it is that they push it on us. They advertise these things to us, and like pill popping and like all these things. Like it might not be direct, but like they're putting it in our faces,
Right.
and they're shoving it down our throats to an extent. So like that's my issue. Is like, yes, kids are making bad decisions, and yes, parents are allowing it to happen, but also like it's they're basically just handing it to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which isn't good. Yeah.
And I think that a lot of things could probably be different with better parenting as well.
Facts.
And no cancel me for
Facts.
that.
I mean, that's real, but look at the city we live in. Like it perpetuates gambling and drinking and taking pills. Like that's what you're supposed to do. The city that never sleeps. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Like, and everybody's trying to live up to that. But then in the meantime, like there's a lot of fallout that's happening that people don't realize, and addiction and trauma that comes out of it. Yeah, bro. The city's a very crazy place and a very unique experience. I feel
It
like
is.
living here.
I feel like people don't really understand when they think of Vegas. They see the way that it's advertised through movies.
Right.
They see the way that it's advertised through social media. Live in Vegas for a couple years. Spend some time outside of the Strip, going up and down Flamingo, Martin Luther King,
Right.
bro. You know, spend some time outside and you'll see what it's like. You'll
Right.
see the homeless population, bro. So I moved to Chicago for 2 years, and I came back, and I moved back with my girlfriend. I met her out there, and she didn't know what it was like to like watch homeless people, because it's like when you live in the suburbs of Chicago, it's a lot different out there.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that's a whole
And
different
then so
type of crazy.
so it's like, and I got to live out there for 2 years, and I saw what it's like, and it gave me a different perspective on Las Vegas, because I was like, yeah, wow, this isn't normal. But like you grow up in Vegas and you're like, oh, that's just that's crackhead Jimmy, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's just gonna say weird shit, and then you realize, no, that's not normal.
Right.
This person does need help. Things should be changed
Yeah.
and stuff. So yeah, spend some time outside of the Strip, and you'll find a real different city out
Facts.
there. That's the crazy thing, man.
Living here, I feel like you realize the entire city is set up kind of as like a trap. It's almost like an open air prison almost. And
No, but that's the best way to put it.
yeah, bro. And everything that they they put out and everything that's around us is built to keep us within this cycle, literally.
Do you remember watching a movie as a child, Percy Jackson?
I love Percy Jackson.
The Lotus Flowers?
Yeah, exactly.
They did such a great depiction.
That's real deal shit right there. And like they might not be direct. Like okay, we're gonna get into some conspiracy shit. Real quick.
Yeah.
So like I don't know if you know about like the blue UV lights that they use, right? It's like that's the same shit that they, and that's why I love movies, because they put the lotus flower concept in the movies with Vegas on purpose, because that's a real concept. Except they're not eating flowers; they're using certain lights to keep you docile and under their control, keep you drinking, and that's why they serve you free drinks while you're gambling and stuff like that.
And
like,
there's no windows.
yeah,
and
exactly.
There's no clocks.
There's no like all these things are purposefully put there to keep you engaged and only thing I can call it is mind brainwashing, mind control.
Subliminal messages.
Yeah, subliminal messaging. Like, bro, it's crazy. And I this is my bag right here. I love to talk about this type of stuff, and people will think you're crazy, bro. But movies, that shit right there will radicalize you, because they put all these things that we're talking about into movies for you to realize. Because like I said, you can talk about it, but people are gonna think you're crazy, and people are gonna try to discredit you. But if you make a movie and you make people feel it and understand it on that level, then you're golden. Yeah.
Another movie that came out back in 2025, or it was 2024, a movie about something with light. I'm so bad with names. It was a movie about
I'm good. So if you just give me a little bit, usually
a cop who saved children from pedophiles.
Prisoners.
No, not Prisoners.
Okay.
That's a great movie.
That's the same thing.
That's a great movie.
Prisoners is great. Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom. There you
Told
go.
you I'm good.
Yeah, Sound of Freedom. That was another movie too that people.
And that movie was made specifically to shine a light on trafficking children.
And I watched that. It was so emotional, bro.
Literally,
And I know that it was like loosely based off of like a true story, but
Yeah.
very loosely. But
That's what gets me is like a lot of these things, even like movies that you don't know are based on real things. Like now that we're in the height of the Epstein files, if people haven't watched Eyes Wide Shut, like Stanley Kubrick was talking about all this shit years and years ago, and then he died right after he made that movie.
I have a different opinion on Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
I just think what happens behind closed doors is 10 times worse than
no,
that
100%.
That movie was just like
100%.
a bunch of people just wanted to fuck.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That was just
that's
like,
true.
That was not.
I feel like they put little things. I don't know. I get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
I feel like they put it in our faces. Sometimes just subliminally. Like there's that whole. I don't know if you know about that concept. I forgot what it's called, but like if you tell the people what you're doing, then you don't have to face karmic retribution for it. There's that, but then there's also people like Christopher Nolan who understand these very technical, complex concepts. And they put it into their films on purpose for people like me or like you that are looking for that thing. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, that's what this means. You know what I mean? And that's what I look for. I literally like search for these things in movies. The Truman Show, that's another good one. And that movie is literally about Christ consciousness and basically transcending this physical reality. And it was produced by a Rothschild, which is
really,
yes, bro. Like it's right there. It's right
I didn't
there.
Even know that.
Watch the movie, bro. Like the 33 steps that he walks when if you've seen the movie, when he leaves the simulation or whatever, he walks
all
up
the
33 stairs or whatever. There's 33 degrees to Freemason. So like that's supposed to be like another thing. There's 33 vertebrae in your spine and Christos. All these things, like they do that on purpose. Like all these subliminal messages. And I feel like it's to help tell people what's going on, you know what I mean? And if you know what you're looking for, because like I said, you can't just talk about it. Yeah. Nobody will listen.
Absolutely. I'm glad that we're kind of on the same page with movies because I look for the same shit too. Yeah. It's also very hard for me to watch movies because it's almost like I have this thing in my mind where it's like they're so easily predictable.
Yeah.
So I have to like I'm very critical and like judgmental.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. That's why I want to like when I write. I try to write. I write from that perspective, like, or even my dad, because like me and my dad will watch a movie and be like, "Oh, what the hell? Like, why would he do that? You can't lock a door from the inside. Like, what is going on?
Exactly.
Like, why would they put that in there? Obviously, this is just like to help move the plot forward. And me and him call that out like this. So when I'm writing, I'm trying to write from the most realistic perspective as possible, even if it's a superhero fantasy movie. Like, theoretically, scientifically, how can we make this possible and make sense? You know what I mean? Right. That's why I love Nolan. Or even like Marvel comics. Like I've learned so much just from like Marvel type stuff, like string theory, like quantum physics. Like I started researching these concepts because I heard them in these movies. You know what I mean? And then you find out like, oh, this is a real thing. This is a real thing. You know what I mean? It's educational too in a sense. I feel like if you actually go and do the research, because these filmmakers, bro, they do their due diligence. They make sure that they know what they're talking about for the most part.
So yeah, for the most part, some of them like I love that you brought up Prisoners because I actually just recommended that movie to
a really good movie.
My cameraman last night when I was filming. I was like, watch this movie if you really like. Yeah. I'm not big on horror.
Me neither.
Just because it's really predictable. And I always know when the jump scare is coming. I'm never really scared. But
that's a different type. That's like a psychological thriller type.
Because I loved it that it was such a real situation that can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
That has happened.
That is happening.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Right? And that the emotion that Hugh Jackman put into it, and Jake Gyllenhaal is one of my favorite actors, bro. I love Jake Gyllenhaal, but
Paul Dano was great in that too.
Paul Dano, he's a slept-on actor,
bro. He is, bro.
Quentin Tarantino called him out for no reason, bro.
It's so funny.
Why?
I just met him a couple weeks ago when I was doing that movie, and I was so tempted to be like, because I was like, he seemed chill, so I almost was like, bro, fuck Quentin Tarantino. I almost said that to him, bro, but I kept it chill. But he's underrated. He's underrated.
Yeah, man. And so. Yeah, that was another one. I also really like movies that are very emotional. Like one that comes to mind is Moonlight.
Moonlight, that one's heavy. That one's
like,
heavy.
Bro, the progression through the life is like, it's cool. And there's another one with Ryan Gosling. I'm not sure if you know this movie too. It's Beyond the Pines.
I knew you were gonna say that. The Place Beyond the Pines. That's a really good movie. Yeah.
Like movies like that where like you get emotionally attached to the character and then things completely switch up. Yeah. Like That's what I look for in a movie.
Right.
Because I don't expect it.
Yeah.
Or the fact that they change from the main character to the kids.
Right.
Grown up.
Right.
And then they meet each other.
Yeah.
Right? That is the weirdest fucking... I couldn't have expected that.
That's good writing. That's really good
Great writing, bro. Great writing.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are the movies that I really look forward to. I haven't felt that since I seen Sinners.
Yeah.
Sinners brought that like...
I feel that.
Like... the emotional attachment.
I
to the
know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like when you walk out of the theater and you just feel heavy.
Yeah,
like you feel different. That I seek that out too. And I actually find myself watching older movies nowadays, looking for that. Like, okay, I haven't seen this. Like, I'm gonna watch this movie from the '80s or whatever. And like, oh man, like I've been watching some old stuff, and I'm glad that I waited. Because there's some movies that I'll know that are like great films, and then I'll wait to watch them until like one quiet night when I just want to sit at home, smoke a joint, and like watch something. Like, oh, I'm gonna fire up The Godfather or something tonight. You know what I mean? Like those classics, bro.
What's a slept on like film career is Tupac, bro.
Yeah,
Tupac acted in like really great.
Yeah,
it was only like 5 movies, but like really watch him. He really stepped into that role.
Juice is a really good movie.
Juice was great, Juice, bro. And the one with Michael Jackson's sister, Poetic
Justice. Yeah.
I'm like, as you can see, I'm not good with names.
No, but I know.
But
I know. Yeah, you're there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like really great discography with film, bro. Like
he was a genius.
Slept on, bro.
He was a genius.
And there's not much more that I can say than a great film is a great film, and it's undeniable when you leave or you turn the TV off and you have to sit for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
to really, like,
that's the feeling that I seek out. I chase that. I crave that feeling, bro. Like I want to be moved. And it still happens. And like recently, like I said, I've had to look in older films.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sinners was definitely one of them. Sinners was definitely.
I really attached to films like early 2000s, 90s as well,
too.
bro. Like, I think that there was like for some reason, I can't put my finger on it, but there's like a lack of like, it's not commitment, but like creating a movie. I couldn't even say what the movies back then were from now.
I think the heart is gone. I think
exactly.
I think the love and like for me, like being on set for Poser, for example, everybody was there, wanted to be there, and they loved being there. And like there's no other place they would rather be. And like we knew what we were doing, and like we're all happy being there, doing what we're doing, and like creating this thing. And I feel like these movies nowadays, there's a lot of people that are there that I don't think appreciate being there, and they're kind of just doing the job. And that's part of it too, is like when you're doing the job, you're missing all the little things that make a movie great. And then the people that are paying for it, they have too much control, and they're cutting things out of the script, and they're telling the director what they can and can't do, and they're forcing social media influencers to be in the movie because they have followers. Like, we're losing the love and the heart and the touch that used to be there. Yeah, bro. Like I don't know. I can feel it. Like I don't know what it is, but there's movies that you'll watch and like, damn, you can tell that they poured their heart and soul into this. And then, you'll watch something on Netflix and be like, I can't believe that they gave them $100 million to make this fucking. That's what irritates me sometimes. Is like they give you $100 million to make this movie, and clearly nobody gave a fuck. Like nobody cared. Like y'all are just doing it just to do it, and it's sad. It's just disappointing to me because like there's so many filmmakers, bro, that are hungry and deserve these opportunities out there. I'm not even just saying me. Like there are people far more experienced with real education behind them, like that deserve these opportunities. And I think that's where the money should be going, is to the people that really love making film. Not they love making money, but they love the work that goes into it.
Right.
But I don't know. I feel like we're losing a little bit, but we also we're hanging on. There's still a lot of people out there that care about the.
Yeah, I like one movie that really like comes to mind when I think about like what I want to see with film nowadays is like a Robert Pattinson movie. I think it's called You. He was just coming out of the Twilight era, and I don't think I've seen that. It was he falls in love with a girl, and like I hate rom-coms, but it's not really a rom-com. This is more serious. But he falls in love with a girl. He's like a troubled kid, but it's based around 9/11. So the acting in that was really raw, and it's emotional, and it's like there was something with like the film back then where it just was like it's gritty.
Yeah.
I love the gritty film.
Oh, like
I
the grainy
the
type.
grainy.
I like
I
that.
hate how things are too
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah. I was gonna
now.
say that I liked when movies looked like movies, and one that I really like that people always say is like over color graded is like Transformers. Like
Yeah.
if you ever watch Transformers, like the first one, you'll see what I mean, where it's just like heavily saturated and it looks like a fucking film. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then you watch like these new movies on Netflix. Or
It's just too perfect.
and it's like there's no like the color grade is like it's like gray and it's like what it doesn't look like a movie. It looks like something. It looks like a commercial. It looks like a commercial.
Yes,
that's what movies look like now. Is
exactly.
commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, bro. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get some new art too. Like, there's a lot of great actors, the Brad Pitts,
Yeah.
the Leonardo DiCaprios.
We're not lacking in
but
actors.
their time's gone, bro.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to see some new shit, and hopefully we can see that from you.
Yeah, absolutely. I got screenplays on screenplays, and I really think that's where like the industry is lacking is just good scripts, good concepts, good stories. And I've got a million. And my dad, bro, he'll call me and be like, "Yo, I got this movie idea. You got a minute to talk?" And he'll tell me, and I'll write it down. I got 200 movie ideas in my phone ready to go, and I've got 10 scripts written. Like, if I need to sell some, I'll sell some. But ideally, I want to make them all happen. You feel me? I feel like there's so many good concepts and stories to be told everywhere, all around us, just waiting to be tapped into.
And I think one thing that I really love that I think is gives that kind of grainy feeling that I see nowadays is TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
So many great TV shows. One that off the top of my head is the one with Ben Stiller just produced
Oh yeah, and damn, I'm in a space on it.
on
Starts
Apple
with
TV.
an S or something.
Severance.
Yeah.
Great. That was one of those TV shows that like was just like on my feet. I didn't know. It was confusing. I love not being able to predict anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love where I think things are going right. They're about to take a left turn.
Yeah.
Another one with that was kind of cool. The second season was bad. Was the oil show. I'm so fucking bad with names.
I haven't been watching too much TV. I'm gonna be lacking on the TV.
Yeah, the TV shows. It was fuck. People were just criticizing the second season so heavily. About
You know who's in it?
I don't fucking know actors. But it's about the people in the oil fields. Fuck, I can't even. I gotta look this one up.
Okay.
Oil TV show.
Yeah, I'd be on movies.
Landman.
Landman. Okay, I've heard
Landman.
of that. That's Billy Bob Thornton, right?
Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah. The second season wasn't bad, but like those dramatic TV shows I really love. Another one that I like was I think it's called like Neighbor or something like that with the same guy from Landman.
I know you're talking about. Does he like go broke and start robbing?
Yes.
Yeah. John Hamm. Yeah,
John Hamm.
I've been meaning to watch that too, bro.
Okay, so they're about to make a second season, and I've recommended the show, Your Friends and Neighbors.
Your Friends and Neighbors.
I recommended that show to everybody because it happens so quick. You step into it, you don't know what the fuck is going on. You wait till very last episode to actually figure it out. And
I like stuff like that too.
Yeah,
I like
bro.
movies like that. Like Shutter Island type of movies.
Shutter Island was still a mind fuck.
That's kind of like how I want to write. Like when I write is like you don't know what is gonna happen and then it all ties in at the end. Yeah, those are my type of vibe too.
Yeah. So I want to kind of wrap this up a little bit. I think we've had a great conversation. I like to kind of ask a more personal question at the end of this, right? It's usually different for every guest. I'm still trying to figure out kind of how I want to word it. But, if there's one thing that you'd like to share that might move somebody after watching this, what do you think that would be?
Man. I mean, the same thing that I tell everybody, like even my friends, is we create our own reality. It's proven by science. The placebo effect, Masaru Emoto's water experiment, it's proven by science that our thoughts literally send out a wave of energy that manifests into our reality. So how you think about yourself and how you think about the world and your future and all these things, that matters. So train yourself to have positive thoughts, figure out what you love and chase after it, and make sure every day you're just positive thinking, bro, and putting out good things into the universe. I know it sounds like cliche, but it's worked for me, honestly, like just changing my mentality. You can't call it. You never know if something's good or bad until later on. It might be saving you from something. A bad situation might be teaching you something. So just stay positive. And yeah, speak what you want into existence and it'll happen. I promise. I promise.
Man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That's the realest thing I can give to the people, man.
No, that's great. Trae Rojo, everybody.
Yeah, bro.
New music,
Yeah.
movies coming soon.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. 2026 is gonna be a great year, man.
Thanks for having me, bro. It's been a pleasure.